Good morning and welcome to Walk Before You Run. Today, I don't want the focus to be on me, I want it to be on Him. And so instead of seeing me, you'll just see His name. Today, I want to look at Matthew 2, the second chapter in Matthew. It says, Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea when Herod was king. After Jesus' birth, wise men from the east arrived in Jerusalem. They asked, "Where is the one who was born to be the King of the Jews? We saw his star rising and have come to worship him." When King Herod, and all Jerusalem heard about this, they became disturbed. He called together all the chief priests and scribes and tried to find out from them where the Messiah was supposed to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem in Judea." The prophets wrote about this. "Bethlehem in the land of Judah, you are by no means least among the leaders of Judah. A leader will come from you. He will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called the wise men and found out from them exactly when the star had appeared. As he sent them to Bethlehem, he said, "Go and search carefully for the child. When you have found him, report to me so that I may go and worship him too." Now they knew he was lying, but let's just keep reading. And after they had heard the king, they started out. The star they had seen rising led them until it stopped over the place where the child was. They were overwhelmed with joy to see the star. When they entered the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, so they bowed down and worshiped him. Then they opened their treasure chests and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. God warned them in a dream not to go back to Herod, so they left for their country by another road. Now, I know when Christ was crucified, they said, the religious leaders said that he calls himself the King of the Jews. He calls himself king. But that wasn't Jesus. Jesus didn't call himself the King of the Jews. Wise men arrived in Jerusalem asking for the king, the one who would be born King of the Jews. The elements called him that when the stars themselves lit up and led the wise men to Jesus. They called him that. The heavenly host called him that. He didn't have to say a word. It was already declared who he is and who he was. Satan and his imps knew who he is before he was. Herod sought to get rid of him at his birth. So everyone and everything had already declared that he was King of Kings. And so Jesus didn't have to speak a mumbling word because it was already declared and decreed who he is. And so this season, I want you to just think about him. You don't have to think about a specific exact date, but think about what happened. Think about the event. Think about what he did. Think about the significance of who he is and how he paid for our sins so we don't have to go to hell for our own sins. So keep the focus on Jesus. I know it's going to be a lot of chocolate bunnies, a lot of chocolate Easter eggs, but keep Jesus the focus and center of this season. And just think about how grateful we all should be that he paid a price that we could not pay ourselves. And he loved us so much that he would suffer in our place. And if you think about everybody he died for and all the sins he carried to the cross, that's a heavy burden. But he tells us to take his yoke upon us, learn of him, because his yoke is easy. So we don't have to carry heavy burdens. We just give it to him, and our load will be light. Thank you for joining me this morning for Walk Before You Run. Remember to keep your focus on Jesus. I'll see you next time.